Henry Davis is here. We're going to talk about it shortly here on Locked On Pirates.
You are Locked On Pirates, your daily Pittsburgh Pirates podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The moment you've all been waiting for is here. Henry Davis is here. Welcome back to the Locked On Pirates podcast, everybody. My name is Ethan Smith, your host of the Locked On Pirates podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team, your Pittsburgh Pirates, every single day. And this is an emergency show, so it's not going to be very long, but I wanted your guys' reactions. I want my reaction to be out there to the Pirates finally doing something they should have done in hindsight about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, by signing Henry Davis to the Major League roster. He's been in AAA all year. He's been doing fine at AAA all year. I don't have to tell you that. And he hasn't been doing fine at AAA all year. I just realized what I just said. He's been at Altoona for most of the year, but he got called up to AAA not too long ago and absolutely destroyed AAA Indianapolis alongside running mate Endy Rodriguez. And Henry Davis being here is big because the Pirates just dropped their sixth in a row today to the Milwaukee Brewers. They're now in third place in the NL Central, and if the losing continues, they're in danger of being in fourth by the end of the Chicago series. But Henry Davis being here is massive. By the way, we'll bring this up just so you guys know that I'm not kidding. We're not kidding at all. Pirates are promoting 2021 first overall pick Henry Davis to the big leagues from Monday's series against the Cubs at PNC Park. Of course, that was Jason Mackey. Also, a very interesting stat from Josh Roundtree, J-Round 32. From what I can find, with 421 minor league at-bats, Henry Davis will have the fewest at-bats of any number one overall pick to reach Major League Baseball since Bob Horner in 1978. Bryce Harper, Alex Rodriguez, Chipper Jones, Ken Griffey Jr., Darryl Strawberry all had more minor league at-bats than Davis. So that is some company to be in, Mr. Henry Davis. Now, he's 23 years old. He's coming up to this team right now in a state where this team desperately needs offense. And you'll see that up there that it says offensive impact needed. Yeah, that is why he's here. Even Brian Reynolds had a lot to say about him coming up, saying whoever wants to come up here and help us offensively, bring it on. He said that to Jason Mackey. Jason Mackey also had this to say about the call-up, that Derek Shelton says Henry Davis will be up tomorrow, obviously. Jason DeLay and Austin Hedges will be staying, so they will be carrying three catchers. So I don't foresee that we're going to see a lot of Henry Davis at the catcher position, at least right away. I do think Henry Davis still has some work to be done on calling a Major League Baseball game behind the plate. I don't think that his bat isn't ready. His bat is going to be inserted into this lineup probably tomorrow, and it is going to be lovely. I really do think so. Henry Davis has the bat. That's why he was drafted number one overall in the 2021 MLB Draft. That's why he was taken there. He was not taken there because of his defensive ability behind the plate. He was taken there because he had the bat to prove it at Louisville. And, I mean, even look at his career stats. You already saw 421 at-bats, a 276 average, a 927 OPS, 24 home runs, 79 RBIs. This year, 183 at-bats, 284, 11 home runs, 30 RBIs, OPS nearing 1,000. The kid is ready. He's been ready. And I'll add on to it and say Endy Rodriguez is sure as hell ready too. And when your offense that just didn't really do much over this six-game stretch where we just saw the Pirates fall from first place to third place in a matter of what felt like seconds. They waited too long, I think, here. Now, let's be honest. A lot of the times when you're calling up a minor league player, be it pitcher, catcher, wherever, most of the time, the timing of calling the guy up is never right. And it never will be. Because chances are, Henry Davis is going to probably struggle a little bit as an overall consensus here for like the first week or 2 weeks that he's here. Let's also keep in mind that he can be optioned back. The sole purpose of Henry Davis being here is to give this offense a spark because they haven't had it in a really hot minute. I mean, even in the Mets series, for instance, we can look at the Pirates won 2 of those 3 games. They won 14-7 in the first one, scored 1 run after that. They won the second game of 3 games in there, the last game of the series, 2-1. Since then, an 11-3 loss to the Cubs, 3 runs. 6-10 loss or 10-6 loss to the Cubs, 6 runs. Following game after that, 2 runs against the Cubs. Following game after that, 4 runs against Milwaukee. No runs on Saturday, 2 runs today. It's unacceptable. It is from the offense. That is the biggest reason that Henry Davis is here. Because the kid can hit the freaking baseball. That's why he's here. He's had the hit tool ever since he was drafted out of Louisville. He's going to always have the hit tool because he's just that freaking good. I told you about the overall stats that we heard from Henry Davis earlier, but in Altoona, for instance, over 187 plate appearances in 2023. He had a 311 BABIP. What do you have in Indy? A 391. He only had 45 plate appearances at Indy. 5 of those were extra base hits. 5. It's insane, dude. That is insane. Speaking of walks, he walked 40 times and only struck out 46 times this year. I mean, the slugging is a 541. It doesn't matter where he plays. He could play right field. He could play catcher. Where would I like to see him? First base. Give Carlos Santana a break because he desperately needs it. Doesn't really matter, though. Maybe even DHs to give Kutch some more time off, even though Kutch has had 3 games off in the past week. The bat is going to play, folks. We know that. Go look at any highlight reel that the Indianapolis Indians Twitter account has released this year. The kid can hit the baseball, folks, and he should have been here a while ago. At least a month ago. Same goes for Endy Rodriguez. Endy Rodriguez should have been up here a month ago. And now that you're 6 games in the hole in this 9-game streak against the NL Central and things have went nuclear on you for being from first place to now third with a danger of falling to fourth, now wasn't the right time. And as I said before, it was never going to be the right time to call up Henry Davis. It will never be the right time to call up Endy Rodriguez. Fully. But now is as good as time as ever, folks, because this offense needs it. They look bad. The offense is not good. They are not scoring runs. They are not hitting the baseball consistently. They're just not producing like we saw in April and at stints in May. They're just not doing it. And Henry Davis, at worst, can obviously be much better than Austin Hedges at the plate, even though for now Hedges and Delay will be here, but Delay has hit the ball pretty well. But then when you insert Endy Rodriguez into this situation, I would say sooner rather than later, once they figure out how they want to move up the system with the catcher position, which I would expect Carter Benz to move up to AAA once that happens. That's where things get interesting. But Henry Davis, man, I don't think it matters where he is in the lineup. I really don't. But you have to put it here. Because what's the worst that can happen? He bats .250. It's a plus bat in this lineup right now. And at worst, you send him back down to AAA. But for now, amidst a 6-game losing streak, this is something that Pirates fans can look at as a positive because it's something that should have happened a couple weeks ago. And if you would have asked me, should have happened before this 9-game stretch against the NL because, as I said before and will say again, this was the biggest stretch of the season so far, and they've crumbled because the offense hasn't been there. The starting pitching is not what it used to be, and they go out there and feel like they can't make a mistake. Now you insert Henry Davis into the fold with plus power from the right side, a guy that can play right field, can play catcher, can play first base, and is going to be an infusion of youth for your offense, for a team that needs it, that, as I've said all year, just needs to score 4 or 5 runs a game to win a baseball game. Henry Davis is going to help you do that. We're obviously going to have more on this tomorrow with Gary Morgan, so check that out. Tuesday, we're going to be on with Lindsey Crosby. We'll obviously be talking about this as well as all the transactions that we've seen from starting pitching with Jared Jones getting called up to AAA, Anthony Solometo headed to Altoona, Quinn Priester. We're going to talk about all the pitchers and how they could impact this 2023 Pirates team sooner rather than later. But guys, rejoice. Seriously, be happy about it. Henry Davis is finally here. They need the offense. He's going to give it to them. Let's see how he does. My name is Ethan Smith, your host of the Locked On Pirates podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team, your Pittsburgh Pirates every day. Watch Locked On MLB next after this. But guys, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. I'll see you in the morning tomorrow with Gary. But most importantly, I'll always see you on the flip side. Peace, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you.